In the days when the judges ruled, Israel had no king, no stability, no unity. Each tribe lived by its own strength, and the land was often shaken by war, corruption, and famine. Bethlehem, the house of bread, had run out of bread. Crops had failed. Hunger pressed upon families like a heavy hand. Among those who suffered was a man named Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Desperate to survive, Elimelech made a decision. We will leave Bethlehem and go to Moab. Moab, a foreign land, born of Lot's shame, often an enemy of Israel. It was not a place of covenant, but desperation makes people move. And so the family left Bethlehem, carrying hopes of survival, but leaving behind the land of promise. Sometimes famine pushes us out of the place where God called us. Sometimes life's hunger makes us settle in places we never thought we'd go. Moab gave them bread, but it also brought them sorrow. First, Elimelech died. Naomi was left a widow in a foreign land. Her sons took wives from Moab. Mahlon married Ruth, and Chilion married Orpah. For 10 years, Naomi held on to the hope of family. But tragedy struck again. Both Mahlon and Chilion died. Now 3 widows stood in Moab: Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah. No husband, no children, no future. In those times, being a widow meant poverty, shame, and despair. Naomi's life was shattered. She lifted her face toward heaven and said, "The hand of the Lord has gone out against me." Her heart was bitter. Her soul was tired. There comes a moment when life seems to take everything from us. Naomi knew that pain. Naomi decided to return to Bethlehem. She heard that the Lord had visited his people and given them bread again. So she told Ruth and Orpah, "Go back, my daughters. Return to your mothers. May the Lord grant you rest in the homes of new husbands." Orpah wept, kissed her mother-in-law, and returned to Moab. She chose the safe road, the road back to familiarity. But Ruth stood firm. With tears in her eyes, with fire in her heart, she spoke the words that echo through eternity. "Do not urge me to leave you or turn back from following you. For where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried." Ruth had no guarantee. She had no husband, no security, no promise of acceptance in Bethlehem. But she chose loyalty over comfort, faith over fear. Sometimes destiny is shaped not by what we gain, but by what we refuse to abandon. The 2 women arrived in Bethlehem at the start of the barley harvest. When Naomi walked through the streets, people whispered, "Is this Naomi?" But Naomi replied with bitterness, "Do not call me Naomi. Call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt bitterly with me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty." Yet Naomi was not truly empty. Beside her stood Ruth, loyal, humble, determined. Sometimes we are blind to the blessing standing right next to us. To survive, Ruth went to the fields to glean, to pick up leftover grain that harvesters dropped. It was the law of Israel that the poor and the foreigner could glean. By providence, Ruth came to the field of a man named Boaz, a wealthy, honorable man, a relative of Elimelech. Boaz saw her. He asked his workers, "Who is this young woman?" They replied, "She is the Moabite who came back with Naomi. She has worked from morning till now without rest." Boaz approached Ruth. He spoke with kindness. "Listen, my daughter. Do not go to another field. Stay here and glean with my young women. I have ordered the men not to harm you." Ruth fell on her face and asked, "Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you notice me, a foreigner?" Boaz answered, "I have heard all about what you did for Naomi, how you left your people and your land to follow her. May the Lord repay you, and may you find refuge under his wings." This was no ordinary kindness. This was the seed of redemption beginning to bloom. When Ruth returned home, Naomi's heart stirred with hope. She said, "Boaz is our kinsman. He is one who can redeem us." In Israel, the law of the kinsman redeemer allowed a close relative to marry a widow to preserve the family line. It was a picture of protection, restoration, and continuity. So Naomi told Ruth, "Wash, put on your best clothes, and go to the threshing floor. Do not let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. Then lie down at his feet." This was not seduction. It was a humble request for redemption, a cultural act of seeking protection under the Redeemer's care. Ruth obeyed. At midnight, Boaz awoke to find a woman at his feet. Ruth whispered, "Spread your garment over me, for you are a redeemer." Boaz, moved by her loyalty, said, "The Lord bless you. You have shown kindness. Do not fear, my daughter. I will do for you all that you ask." But there was one problem. Another man was a closer relative. Would Ruth be redeemed by Boaz? The next morning, Boaz went to the town gate. He sat with the elders and called the closer relative. "Naomi is selling the land that belonged to Elimelech. Will you redeem it?" The man said, "I will redeem it." But Boaz added, "If you redeem it, you must also marry Ruth the Moabite to raise up the name of the dead." The man withdrew. "I cannot redeem it, lest I endanger my own estate. You redeem it." Before the elders, Boaz declared, "Today, you are witnesses that I have redeemed all that belonged to Elimelech, and also Ruth the Moabite as my wife." The elders blessed them. "May the Lord make the woman like Rachel and Leah, who built the house of Israel. May your house be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." God was weaving redemption out of brokenness. Ruth and Boaz married. They had a son named Obed. Naomi held the child in her arms, and the women said, "Naomi has a son." Obed became the father of Jesse. Jesse became the father of David, Israel's greatest king. And from David's line came the Messiah, Jesus Christ, the Redeemer of the world. Ruth, a Moabite, a foreign widow, became part of the lineage of salvation. Her story is not just about romance, it is about redemption. It shows that God's plan reaches beyond borders, beyond failures, beyond despair. From famine to fullness, from widowhood to legacy, from brokenness to redemption. The story of Ruth tells us God sees the loyal heart, even in hidden places. Faithfulness in small choices opens doors to great destinies. No one is too far, too broken, too foreign to be woven into God's story. Ruth clung to Naomi, and through that loyalty, she clung to destiny. Boaz stepped in as Redeemer, and through that redemption came the line of Christ. And so we see, even in the darkest famine, God is writing a story of hope. Even in loss, He prepares redemption. And through Christ, our true Redeemer, every Ruth, every Naomi, every broken heart can rise again. If Ruth's story inspired you, share this video with someone who needs hope today. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next journey of faith. Follow for more to rise again.